Hello, it's Robert Miner with Dynamic Traders Reports with our Saturday, April 13th DT Reports video update just for our YouTube subscribers. And I'm going to be taking a look at what I think is going to be a real trade opportunity here in the next week or so. So it's going to be relatively short today because I'm going to get right to the point. So before we get started, I just want to remind you, I actually trade and futures, Forex, and I also trade the ETS, Bull and Bears Index ETS. This is just the last couple of years. Last year, 2018, I was third place with over 70% return in the Robbins World Cup Championship of Forex trading. And this year, so far, through April 10th anyway, I'm up 41% and I'm in the first place in that. So this is real money, real time, and you can check this out at worldcupchampionships.com/standings. So when I'm teaching you about trade strategies, I'm teaching you from a practical standpoint. I'm not just an analyst, I'm not just a forecaster. As I look at all the technical analysis as a way to identify trades with a high probability outcome and acceptable capital exposure if I happen to be wrong. And trust me, I'm wrong now and then, sometimes more than now and then. But your trade management will determine whether you end up net profitable or not. Okay, let's get started. I'm going to show you an opportunity, I think at least, that's going to be fantastic here within the next few days, at the most a couple weeks from now, that I want you to be prepared for. Well, this is a gold weekly chart, and I'm not going to go into a lot of the teaching details about the time factors and some of the other technical factors. I'm going to kind of get to the point and give you the end result, and that is by the week ending April 26th, and that's the week after this coming week, that should be the maximum time that gold as well as silver and the GDX complete a corrective decline prior to resumption of the bear trend. So we're really close to that. We've got several time factors both this upcoming week, that's the week ending April 19th, and those are weekly time factors. We've got some daily time factors next week that indicate that this week ending April 19th, that's this upcoming week, has a greater probability of completing this corrective decline. But the latest would be the week ending April 26th. Our weekly momentums are dual look back oversold. Being overbought and oversold itself is not significant. It's a warning that a price reversal is near. But and usually we make a actual reversal within 4 bars of them becoming what I call dual look back oversold. They've been dual look back oversold 3 bars. Next week is bar number 4. It's a real wake-up call. But what's more important about this is whatever kind of technical analysis or pattern or whatever you're into. I'm big on using Elliott wave to help me understand the position and trend of a market, whether we're in a trend or a correction. However you look at it, more than likely this decline is a correction and not a bear trend. It's a correction, and we've already made the minimum pattern typical of a correction. That would be 3 sections or an A, B, C. We may not quite be done with it. We may have a new low next week. But if we do, we're really close to being over. But here's the key. Here's the key to this. If this is a correction, what follows a correction? Well, a resumption of the trend prior to a correction. That's just by definition to a new extreme. So if indeed we're making a corrective decline when it's complete, then gold should continue to advance to above the February high. So our objective now as traders is to identify the conditions when this corrective decline may be complete. Condition number 1 is certainly evident in that our weekly momentums are what we call dual look back oversold. And more importantly is all of our time factors signal that within the next 2 bars, within the week ending April 26th, we should complete that low. So we're really close. If we look at some time relationships, the maximum downside, if gold is making a corrective decline is around 1273 to 1263. That's the 50% retracement from the August low, and this is 62% retracement from the November low, and it's also the 100% alternate price projection of wave A from the wave B high. So potential of another $20 down. Now keep in mind I'm saying that's the maximum on the downside if gold is making a corrective decline. The week ending April 26 is the maximum on the downside time-wise if gold is making a corrective decline as anticipated. Here's the daily chart. Daily momentums are bearish and not oversold, so the immediate trend is likely to be sideways to down for at least another 2 to 3 days in the next week. We have some daily time factors, and they're pretty significant for a daily low that both fall on April 16th. Now it's next Tuesday. That's part of the reason why we think next week is likely to complete this corrective decline. So what I'm looking for in the next week is should gold make a daily momentum bull reversal with price above the April 4th low. Boy, that's going to be a setup to identify specific entry strategies to go long. Well, boy, we're just about there. We're just about there. So you can use whatever strategies you use to trigger you into a trade. Just be aware that we're within the 2 weeks of probably completing a low that's going to last for several months and be followed by fairly significant advance, probably greater than, for instance, this advance. And that was pretty significant, good tradable advance at the very least. And again, at the very least, what if gold doesn't continue to advance and take out the February high? Well, we're still near a weekly low. That's a low that ought to last at least 3 to 5 weeks. And even if it doesn't begin a significant bull trend, we ought to be 3 to 5 weeks sideways up. So that's a trading opportunity. As you saw earlier, I've been doing really well with Forex, and I just trade the euro as it's the only Forex or foreign exchange market that I trade. If gold's going to make a weekly low, what do you think the euro is going to do? Okay, they are not directly correlated all of the time, but most of the time they more or less follow each other. They more or less go the opposite direction of the dollar. So if we're going to make a weekly low in gold in the next week or so, we're probably going to make a comparable low in the euro in the next week or so, and a comparable high in the dollar next week or so. Just be aware of that. That's it for today. I hope you have a fantastic week. There probably won't be a YouTube update next Saturday. That's the Easter holiday weekend, and it's the beginning of spring vacation for the schools in Greensboro, where I'm at, and that means we're all taking off for a week. So we'll be back with you. It'll probably be 2 weeks before you hear from me again. And between now and when you hear from me again, this market's probably going to set up for a fantastic long trade. Take care.